Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1869A, and today's date is May 16th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Deep State Tries to Outmaneuver Trump in the Economy. This will fail. Now, this is the time of year that most of us have a big old clear out. We get rid of all the stuff that's collected through the winter, hidden away in the back of a cupboard or a file cabinet. There might be a gold mine. Noble Gold can show you how to blow the financial dust off those files, revitalize the dead money, and catapult your retirement savings into orbit. Just for May, to celebrate Memorial Day, they are offering a solid silver Trump 2020 coin and a 10-ounce silver bar for anyone rolling over an IRA or cash deal over $20,000. Talk to the team over at Noble Gold today and call 877-646-5347. Protect your retirement by investing in a gold IRA. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we know the deep state, they are going to try to stop Trump at every turn. We know that they're trying to figure out a way to make it seem like the economy, when it comes down, that it would be Trump's fault. Now, Trump, what he's done, he's built the economy up. He's got the approval rating. And the deep state, the central bank, they're trying to figure out how to rework their plan. Remember, their plan was to raise interest rates throughout 2019, going into 2020, and have the economy crash, blame it on Trump. And as we all know, if the economy's not doing well and it crashes right before the election, who are people going to vote for? The other candidate, whoever it might be. Trump, and according to Q, they knew this plan. They knew that this was going to happen. They knew the central bank was going to raise rates, and we saw it because as soon as he became elected, or right before he became elected, they started to raise the rates a little bit. Not during Obama's term, but a little bit after. And then when Trump came in office, they really started to push the envelope. And then all of a sudden, they reversed course. Because Trump knew that he needed to control the economy. He knew he needed to control the stats. And this is why he has the magic wand, because he's figured out how to control all of this. And it really wasn't that difficult because the deep state, the central banks, have been doing it for a very long time. Now, Trump is trying to rework trade deals. And we've been following this. And he's been trying to rework a trade deal with China. We know that their top negotiator, well, he was removed. His title was removed. There's a reason for this, because the deep state, they are pushing their agenda and they're out there saying, listen, don't make a deal with Trump. Now, this reminds me of John Kerry when he visited Iran multiple times while Trump was president, saying, don't do what Trump wants you to do. Stick to the deal. Now, of course, that's a violation of the Logan Act. Now, if other individuals are telling China to wait, don't make a deal, is this also some type of violation? Most likely. But we're going to be talking about that in a couple of seconds or minutes here, because I want to go through the central bank economic system. Now, the central bank economic system, this is not Trump's economy. He's using the manipulated data to win the election in 2020. But there's a problem, and he knows it. The Patriots know it. Is that the central bank system, it's not designed to go for a long period of time. The longest period of time is between 45 and 50 years. We're at the end stage of it. And we're seeing the end stage of a central bank system. Actually, we're watching all of this in real time. We're watching everything unfold in real time. When you go back in back in time, and you look at this, it will all start to make sense, because you'll see when the central bank came into power. You'll see in 1971 when we came off the gold standard. You'll watch how they manipulated the markets, the interest rate, precious metals. You'll watch how the system was boosted up, and then all of a sudden it started to come down, and everything started to implode, and you will see it very, very clearly. It's much easier to go back in time and look at all this stuff than to watch it real time and try to make sense out of it. But we've been trying to make sense out of this entire central bank system for a very long time. And what we've noticed is that the people's system, everything that they're doing is affecting the everyday person. So when we look at like automobile loans, we know, because we've been following it, that automobile loans, the car industry, was pumped up. We know how it works. We know that they were getting subprime buyers into the market to keep the system rolling along. Well, everything's starting to turn right now. That's why Trump would like a rate cut, because he knows he will need a rate cut to keep the system moving along here. But auto loan delinquencies, 90-day or more, that are past due, they jumped another 4.69%. This is not a good sign. And when you start to look at it, you can see we're back to where we were back in 2009, and we're heading upward, not down, because back in 2010, we were almost at 5.5% of 90-plus day delinquencies. This is not a good sign. These souring auto loans are going to impact banks and specialized lenders and the real economy, the automakers and auto dealer, and the industry that support them. Lenders have already figured out that the subprime auto loans have soured. They've been seeing this since 2015, 2016. And ever so gradually, lenders have tightened their subprime underwriting standards. And subprime customers that don't get approved for a new vehicle loan may get approved for a much smaller loan for a cheaper used vehicle. This process has already been shifting potential new vehicle customers to used vehicles. This is why the car manufacturers are having a problem right now. For automakers, this has already shown up in their sales. New vehicle sales, in terms of vehicles delivered to end users, peaked in 2016, and they have been declining ever since. And when we look at this, we can see that new vehicle sales, fleet and retail, they were down 3.2% from the first quarter of 2018. And so 2019 looks to be another down year for the industry. This is the third in a row. But this isn't happening in a recession with millions of people losing their jobs and everyone defaulting on their auto loans because they lost their jobs. This is happening during one of the strongest labor markets in many years. Now, again, this is all on paper. This is done with manipulated data. So we're looking at a very strong economy, but we're seeing the delinquencies on auto loans. How is this possible? We know how it's possible because we know the unemployment, GDP, stock market, it's all manipulated. Remember, we have two things happening right now. We have the central bank economy, which Trump is trying to keep afloat, and we have the new economic system that he's rebuilding right now. We have two things happening, and he knows he needs to keep the old system operational long enough to transition everyone into the new system. Housing, they're teetering on an implosion, but it looks like in the Northeast and Midwest, we're starting to see housing pick up a little bit. Now, if Trump could get his rate cuts, housing would turn around. And we explained this many, many times before. The thing is, you can't let the housing market implode on itself because for almost everyone in this country who owns a house, this is where their wealth is. A lot of people hope that their homes will appreciate when they get around to a retirement. They'll be able to cash out of their home and they'll be able to take that money and use it for other things. And of course, yes, they're going to pay off their mortgages as much as they possibly can, but the appreciation part of it, that's what they're looking for. And if the housing market declines, even though it's paper losses, people don't see the outlook looking good if their housing amount goes down while they're living in their house. This is why Trump needs to continually pump up these bubbles. And yesterday we talked about how the Fed said if we lower the rates, the bubbles are going to be pumped up. Yes, this is exactly what he wants. He wants what the deep state, the central banks, have been doing for a very long time. But again, he's using it against them. Now, Trump sees the auto market. He realizes that the auto market is declining. And he has the auto tariffs ready to go, but he's going to put a delay on this as of right now. And remember, he's using the tariffs for leverage on the China trade talks. Now, what's very interesting, Trump tweeted out the following. And at the time he tweeted this out, it didn't really make that much sense. But now we're starting to get a clearer picture of why he tweeted this out. China is dreaming that Sleepy Joe Biden or any others gets elected in 2020. They love ripping off America. Now, China, they believe that Trump might not be elected in 2020. So many people, even Trump, have said that China backed off a little bit, did a 180, because they're waiting for someone else to enter the White House. Now, what's very interesting, Mrs. Susan Thornton, the former acting Assistant Secretary of the State in the Trump administration, tells the Beijing audience to stop negotiating until President Trump is removed from office in 2020. She said, "I want to be optimistic," said Thornton, whose 27-year career in Washington ended in July. "I tell all our foreign counterparts they should keep steady, keep their heads down, and wait. They should try not to let anything change dramatically." Let me continue with what she said here. "If this is skeptical attitude towards talking diplomacy continues in this administration, you might have to wait till another administration." Now think about what is happening here. First, we have John Kerry out in Iran telling Iran what to do. Of course, it's a violation of the Logan Act. Then we have Thornton out there, who was in the Obama administration, who is telling the Chinese, listen, wait for the next administration in 2020. Don't make a deal right now. Remember, the deep state, they're deep and wide. And these people are going to do everything possible to try to stop what Trump is trying to do. Remember, Trump has an inner circle that he completely trusts. Everyone else right now, he's not too sure of. And he uses different individuals to push his plans, the Patriots' plans. And we can see that these individuals, they don't want Trump to make a deal with China. They don't want anything to change because they still, in their minds, they still believe that their globalist plans are going to work out, where they're going to have a one-world government. And they were trying to do this, as we know. But it's not going to work. It's going to fail. Xi Jinping and Trump, they're on a friendly basis. They talk all the time, and I do believe they're going to have a meeting of the minds, and they're going to hammer out a trade deal. After the noise and all this stuff settles down, I believe Trump and Xi, when they meet at the G20 summit, they're going to renegotiate and have talks of where they should go from there. Now, is this going to happen the next day? No. They'll make plans. They'll get together, maybe a couple weeks, a month, but they will eventually get together and hammer out a deal. Remember, Trump wants to make this deal. And I believe China really wants to make a deal also. But they're getting mixed messages still from the deep state. Remember, the swamp has not been drained yet. Yes, there's a lot of people that are fired, a lot of people that are resigned, a lot of people that are no longer in government, but there's a lot more people to take care of. Think about the judges. Think about everyone in all the departments. There's a lot more to do. And then we need to go after the central bank, which I believe is going to be a lot harder and a lot more time-consuming than just getting the treasonous folks. And I think Trump is doing this in different stages, where he needs to get rid of all the blocks and all these people that are going to stop him from trade deals and all these other things. Once he gets rid of that, once he gets rid of most of Congress, he can then move and focus completely on the central bank, because the central bank, they don't like to give up control, and they will use anything and everything to stop Trump from destroying them. So here we are. Everything is going as planned. What the deep state tried to do is going to fail, and Trump is going to continue moving forward. The Patriots are going to continue moving forward, and he will get reelected, and then the next part of the plan goes into effect. Get prepared, because things are going to get crazy. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.